Welcome to this video where I'm going to show you how to and where to sand your inside parts of your box. So first I'm going to go back to this downdraft table. It is like a big vacuum. You want to turn it on right here. This switch points up. You can hear it turn on. There's a big blower in there that is sucking through all of these little slots right here. And we want to make sure that that's on, because otherwise you're going to have a nose full of dust at the end of sanding. And this helps just keep the room free of that dust. I have my 4 pieces. These are where I'm going to sand. There's a box here that has some sandpaper in it. I'm going to use one of these. There's also some little pieces of wood that you might use as blocks to help sand flat. The sandpaper we're using for this is 120 grit. You can't always tell by looking at the back of each piece because it's a different part of the whole sheet. But if you feel it, you can kind of tell that it's a little bit rougher than something with a larger number, which you learn about on Schoology. I also have a pencil with an eraser and then just a handheld eraser. It used to be a cat, I think. Yep, half the cat face. And I'm going to start with that because some of these pencil marks on the inside are a little bit light, and I might be able to take those off with an eraser. That eraser is not great, so I'm going to switch to this one. So I'm going to try to take off as much as I can with the eraser. Hopefully it doesn't leave too much of this red streak here. If you have a better eraser, I would use that. That takes off a little bit, but there's still some that's down in the wood grain that has penetrated. So I'm just going to concentrate on pushing on that and erasing just that line there and anything else that needs to be cleaned up. Do not sand the miter joints, because what will happen is you'll actually sand off part of it. It won't be a flat fit anymore when you put it together. So you're only sanding the surface here. You want to stay away from your miters. And once that face is cleaned up, then you're done. Don't sand the top, don't sand the bottom, don't sand the outside. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Hit it with an eraser as best I can, and then finish up with the sandpaper. Try to use this block here, get a little bit more pressure on there. Trying to stay away from the miter as much as I can so I don't change that. I hit the whole thing just to smooth it out. And now that one is clear. And then I keep moving. This one here doesn't have any pencil on it anywhere. I might just hit this one time just to clean it up a little bit, smooth it out, get the machine marks out of it. That one's done. And then finally, you can see this said inside. I'm just going to hit this one right away with this block until it looks nice and clean. Trying to stay away from the miter as much as I can. Blow that off a bit. Alright, now the reason we're doing this before we put it together and only doing the inside is that if you put it together and you glue it together and there's writing on the inside, it's really difficult to put your hand in the box and sand those parts out. It's much easier to do at this stage. Likewise, or actually the opposite, the outside writing, any writing that you have on there, it's actually easier to have the box put together to sand those parts. So that's why we're leaving any writing on the outside. Plus, we're going to need to know where the top and bottom is once we glue all these pieces together.